What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony. It's a little bit late on a Saturday, so I've had a few beers and I decided to say, hey, you know what? I do a Q&A every week and you guys ask a lot of great questions, you know? One thing I don't ever see is, what do you guys like? So the tables have turned and I'm going to ask you some questions. And I hope you enjoy this episode. I'm not going to roll the intro. I'm thinking maybe about revamping the intro or whatever. You know, had a few beers and cheers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you some questions, and I hope you enjoy this because, you know, I want to hear what your answers are. All right? So let's just get started because I do have a list of really pretty 7 questions. Not 5, not 3, not 10. 7. Figured 7 was cool, you know. So my first question to you guys, and first and foremost, I do appreciate everyone who likes and subscribes. I hope you continue. Like, if you're new or you're just getting to my channel, please subscribe. It really helps me out. You know, this kind of thing sort of just, I don't care about the money, you know. It's really just helps me stay motivated to do my channel. It's pretty simple. A lot of people like my channel because they say I'm genuine, I'm authentic, and I just basically just say it how it is. You know what I mean? I have no ulterior motives. I've said this before. So it does keep me motivated to do this. So, also today I am wearing my Rolex OP 36mm 126000. Really starting to like the 36. You know, I started off with 36 millimeters, and then I went up to the 41 OP and the 41 Datejust, and then now I find those watches too big. I can still handle 40 millimeter, you know, like obviously my GMT Master, you know, so certain watches, but the OP and the Datejust are like perfect size for 36 millimeters. Hello, Uku, and Paco's back there too. Oh, there he is, look. All right, so let's start with the first question. All right, if you could only pick one watch, one and done, and that's it, what watch would you have? Keep in mind, you know, it has to go through you, it has to work with you with your everyday life for the rest of your life. Now, if you say, I can't do it because I just couldn't do it, you know, that's a difficult one, but you have to. And if you can't, that means you get no watch. So you have to pick one and done. And now Paco's going to start shit with Uku, and the fun's going to start. Anyway, what's your one and done? All right. So question number 2. If you only had $1,000 to spend on a watch, that was your budget, that's it, $1,000 or under, 1,000 or under, what would you pick? My pick would be like a Hamilton khaki field watch. They're just like so robust. I mean, just across the board. Hamilton watches are sick watches. You know, legible, you know, they're water resistant, they're tough, you know, they're tough watches. And I would get the Murph. I think the Murph at the 38 millimeter, I think it's still under $1,000, isn't it? I haven't checked those in a while. So part of the second question is, if you had only $3,000 and under, what would you pick? So $3,000 and under. And that was a tough one for me because I'm sitting there like thinking, what would I buy? I mean, there's plenty of watches I would buy for $3,000 and under because that's a pretty good amount of money, you know. You're not at, you know, super luxury at all, you know what I mean? And everything I'm talking about is new watches. I'm not talking about pre-owned. Okay, so keep that in mind. New watches only. You know, I definitely probably go with a Nomos. Or I would go, you know, right now, and I'm going to do a video on it too, is the Christopher Ward C1 Moonphase with the aventurine dial is beautiful, freaking sick. I would go with that. That watch is about $2,600 or $2,700, I think. All right, next would be on the same part of the second question, $5,000 and under. I would probably go with a Cartier Tank, man. But then again, you know, I don't know. Probably a Cartier, you know, because the Cartier is one of my favorite brands. Okay, next one would be $10,000 and up to whatever you want. You know what I mean? $1 million freaking dollars. And I would probably have to go with, for me, it would have to be a Patek Philippe, maybe a 5167G, just simply because it's, you know, it's a robust watch. It's a sort of goes under the radar, and it's one of those watches only you know you have it, really, unless you're a you know, Patek fan or whatever. Okay, so I want to hear, of course, these are questions for you guys. Not that you want to, you know, this is what it is. Cheers. Question number 3. And here we go. Only when I do videos, you know, all of a sudden it's like the cats get jealous and they're like, well, he's not paying attention to us, so let's fuck shit up. Question number 3. And that loud noise you just heard, if it came on the mic, I'm sure it did, was my Uku's chair. She kicks it over and that's it when she decides she's had enough of Paco. Question 3. Money, no object. So money's no object. So you can go with a $100 watch to a $100,000 watch. It doesn't matter. Your top 3 watches in your collection. So, you know, let's say a dress watch, a diver watch, and just your everyday watch. And if I was going to go that way for myself for a dress watch, I might go with a JLC Master Control Date. But then I might go with a Patek 50, oh my gosh. Okay, never mind. I can't do that mind thing where I can't remember. I remember it all day long, you know, because I know the reference numbers and then I can't. But Patek Diver, definitely got to go with a sub, man. Subs are just, you know, across the board, you know, the shit, the best watch. Everyday watch would have to be like a Zenith Pilot. This is a great everyday watch, you know what I mean? The Zenith Pilot. The OP is a great everyday watch, you know? So what's your choice? What do you guys want? Number 4, question number 4. If you had to pick your favorite watch that's made in Japan, you know, Seiko, Citizen, whatever you want, Grand Seiko, the US, Swiss, and German, what would you pick? Okay, so you could have one from each. What would you pick? So if I took the best sort of as Japanese, I'm not really that into them, but I would have to go with probably a Seiko or a Grand Seiko. If it's the United States, made in the US, I can think of 2 companies I would go with. Probably would be RGM. Just an outstanding brand, and I could go more into RGM, but RGM are awesome. Or there's a company called Weiss. I don't know if you ever heard of Weiss. Pretty much a one-trick pony. What's his name? His name's, I can't remember. Cameron Weiss, I think his name's Cameron Weiss. And he makes sort of field watches, standard field watches, small seconds, manual wind. And he was based in Los Angeles and moved to Nashville. He's been there for a while. His watches, I think, from what I remember, going way back when he first came out, were, I think, around the $1,500 mark. They may be more now because of the inflation and all that stuff. So, for Swiss, that's a tough one because there's too many of them. You know, if it was me, I'd go with, you know, I really like to go like Breguet, Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin, of course, Rolex. And then German, my favorite German brand is Nomos. And I love Geo. Excuse me, Glashütte original. But I would probably go with Nomos. Maybe a Glashütte. I wouldn't go with Lange. But now question number 5. What is you know, the best material? What do you prefer? Do you prefer a steel watch? Do you prefer a gold watch? A titanium watch? What is your preferred watch on your wrist? And this would be like for a daily watch. Would you prefer to wear a gold watch, titanium, or whatever? You know what I mean? Or, you know, like some form of plastic or carbon, you know, something like that. As far as with that, do you prefer a bracelet, leather, rubber, NATO, What's your preference on that? Rolex, I always prefer a bracelet. Would never put rubber, NATO, or anything else on it because I think the watches are just perfect on bracelet. Now, if I was going with an Oyster Flex, that's different, but you know, that would have to be something like with the Yachtmaster, the solid gold 38 millimeter version that comes with the Oyster Flex, or the Daytona solid gold with the Oyster Flex. But again, I wouldn't normally wear that watch on an Oyster Flex. Leather straps always on a dress watch for me. Sport watch, other than Rolex, I do prefer rubber straps, you know, and I'm not a huge fan of NATO straps. And then question number 7, the last question. This is strictly for Rolex fans. Your top 3 Rolex. What would your top 3 Rolex, if you go get any Rolex you want, or any 3 Rolex you can get, your top 3? All right, so mine is Datejust for sure. The GMT Master 2 for sure, and the OP, and the Daytona, that's 4. But you know, gotta, you know, whatever. But so those are my questions to you guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little sort of reverse Q&A. I just want to get you guys involved, and you know, because I like everyone who comments, likes, subscribes. You know, I consider you guys like friends as opposed to just viewers. I mean, granted, there's some people that are just sort of trolly or whatever it is, and that's just common when you're doing this kind of stuff. But I really do appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm really looking forward to going to the Bindi grand opening party next week, so I'll hopefully be able to do some videos from that as well. But I'll see you next week. And as far as, the Q&A next week, I might do it on Thursday just because I'm going to be at the Bindi party on Friday. But we'll see. All right. Take care, you guys. Cheers.